Welcome back to the Back Pocket Creative, and this is somehow episode 10. I don't know how in the world I've done this for 10 weeks. This was the daunting thing for me, and to think I'm 10 weeks in, and now it kind of feels natural and normal and like it should is crazy. And so, this week obviously is leading up to Thanksgiving. And so for me, I think a lot of times as a creative, there's not a lot to be thankful for in moments when you're having to create, especially in holidays and different things. And I think for me, I've kind of had almost a wave of thankfulness hit me over the past couple weeks. And it wasn't even like, if you kind of know my recent schedule, I've not been very, had any free time. So I come back in the office this week and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's Thanksgiving next week." And I'm just like, "What in the world?" Like, it just blew my mind that it's this close. And so for me, I think that I have, in different environments as a creative, I think I've very much overlooked the blessings in my life as a creative, the environments that I'm in, the capability of the environments I'm in, and then even the leaders in my life that have enabled me to do things and given me trust and given me resources to do the things to fulfill their vision, but do it in a creative way as my vision. And so I think that I have had to take a step back recently, last couple of weeks, and just be super thankful for kind of everyone in my life that's kind of gotten me to this point. Even this weekend, or this past week, I traveled and went and did a project with a friend, and just it kind of boosted me in the sense of I just was happy to be there, happy to be a part, and like it was a big deal just to be involved in the project that I was involved with. And I was just humbled that it's like, hey, like all these relationships led me to here, and I'm sitting here and being able to be a part of an incredible project with incredible people and incredible church. And so then I come back home and get to be a part of my incredible church here, and get to see someone that's made an impact on my life, like a major impact on my life, that really, if you trace everything back, this person more or less is the reason that I'm here right now. Like, her ministry is the reason that I learned and was kind of equipped to do what I do now. And so I got to see her after 7 years of not seeing her, after leaving 7 years ago, and now kind of seeing where I am now, and just having just waves of thankfulness. And I think something that I didn't appreciate a lot is being thankful as a creative, because you have to look at it like this. And I say that as obviously being thankful as a human, as a whatever, but I say it like this, and I say why being thankful as a creative is important, and that I'm seeing is that it's very easy to be negative, to be pessimistic about the circumstances you're in, about the circumstances that led up to how you're in it now. And I think you can discount a lot of things, a lot of relationships. You can discount just everything. Like, I mean, I even think like the gear that I get to work with on a daily basis, I've not been thankful enough that I get to work with the gear that I get to work with, that I get to operate in a studio. And then also, the church I'm a part of has a studio that's very nice, has good equipment. Like, I take that for granted sometimes. And so this week, like, I've been very much like, even the church that I went to, being able to handle the gear that I handled, like, I was sitting there at one point and I was just like, who am I to even really be dabbling with this stuff? Like, I get that I know and I have knowledge and everything, but I'm not qualified. This, I never went to school for this. And I think I've missed the moments of being thankful because I got too caught up in like, this is what I do, and I think that I lost the thankfulness, and I lost the gratefulness, and I lost the, hey, this isn't a given, like, I may never get to work with this equipment again, and now I do. So I need to be grateful that I do. And I think that it's kind of instilled in me even more of a gratefulness for the people that I've come in contact with in the past, and the places that I've been at in the past. And like, I just had a moment even last night where I was just like, man, like, I was looking at the leaders that I was, under at a certain point, and just being like, even though maybe I came away not loving that season, I kind of almost started to seeing the good in it that I missed. and just kind of being overwhelmed with this sense of like, and I kind of got hit with this earlier in the year where I was just being grateful. But I think now it's like being grateful and thankful that, hey, like not a lot of people get to do what we get to do as creatives. Not a lot of people get to mess up and try new things and, fail all the time as a career. And I think that's something that we take for granted as creatives. Is as creatives we have a leash to fail, have a leash to mess up, have a leash to try things that don't work. And then you start to look at professions and you're like, what profession gets to mess up as many times as I have? And I don't think there's many, and still maintain where you're at, and I think as creatives and as humans, we just need to be grateful and thankful for the people that and the things that are in our life because, I think back to my gratefulness level, my thankfulness level when I first started out, when I first bought my first camera and my first laptop and my first setup, I was just so like, I was so thankful and grateful that I had it and I had the ability to do it. And now I look at it, I'm like, man, like I have 20 times that equipment now, the access to, and I have, the quality that I have access to. I couldn't, that, 18, 17-year old that picked that stuff up and he would have never thought that this is where he would be now. And I always think back now to like, if I was that age and I told myself 10 years later, you're going to be here, you're going to work with this gear and you're going to work with this person, you're going to work with this and you're going to come across this and you're going to be able to design this and you're going to be able to speak in this, you're going to be able to consult here and you're going to be able to be involved in this church and this church and you're going to be able to do this. I think I would have been overwhelmed and like been like, there's no way I'll never do that. And still to this day, I don't know how I've gotten to where I've gotten, and I'm so grateful for where I am. But I think one of the things that I've had to do recently and really this last week is just step back and be like, dang, this is it. I'm here. Like this is the thing that I wish and hope for, and like this is the stuff that I'm getting to do that I dreamed about doing, and I was overlooking it like it was just, oh, it is what it is. And, you can dive deep into why I was like that, and the reason I was like that is because I got super cynical at certain jobs and certain places, and just because it was monotonous and things were going on, and then COVID happened and it shook everything up, and then I just felt like my self-worth shot up, and then when my self-worth shot up, I think it just got to my head of what I could be or what I should be. And then it's like I had to try to meet my own expectations and, be disappointed in myself and like have to deal with that. And I think the thing that I missed was I wasn't being thankful for my progression. And I think that killed me over the last 2 years is I wasn't thankful for where I was going, and I wasn't thankful for where I came from, and I wasn't thankful for where I was. And I think that, now looking back, I'm so thankful for where I came out of and so thankful for what I got to do, what I got to accomplish, or what I got to be a part of. And I wish I had that feeling and that thankfulness when I was in that situation, because I feel like it would have benefited me more. And I'm now looking at it and realizing the way I approach things now is out of heart of thankfulness, a heart of, being super happy with where I'm at. And, contentment's a funny word because some people see it as, oh, if you're content, you stop growing. But I think contentment for me is like, I need to be happy where I'm at, because my goodness, if you look at where I came from and where I'm at, there's no way I should be here. And so while I know up is always the best and always learn more and always press on, I get that. But I think as creatives, sometimes we get to the place that we dreamed of, or we get past the dream, and then it becomes monotonous, and then it becomes the job, and it becomes, well, yeah, that's what I do. And that becomes, well, that's just what I do. It's a service I provide. And you forget 10 years ago when you were just like, man, I just wish somebody would give me a chance. And now you forget about the person that gave you the chance. And I'm there. That's why this weekend was so pivotal for me, because I'm just like, wow, like kind of coming full circle for me in a couple different things. And if you know me a little bit, kind of know what I'm talking about in this situation. And I think I am so just overcome with gratefulness and thanksgiving. It's probably just getting annoying at this point, but hearing me talk about it, but it's just something that I encourage you to try to jump into in your own. I get that things suck. I get that situations aren't fantastic, and I've been in those. I've been in the situations that are like, oh my goodness, get me out of this. I can't be thankful for this. But then I'm looking back at those situations like, wow, what I went through there, I now have knowledge to execute A, B, C, D in these certain environments. And now I've been able to teach other people how to avoid these environments, this little, thing that they shouldn't go into. And I've been able to use the things that I thought were the worst things and the worst environments. And then I was able to use them, and I was able to use things that came out of those environments. And it's like, I'm thankful for them now. I think I resented things and I resented people for a while. And then I just kind of became thankful and grateful for the situations, and I think that I went through a lot of healing in the past, say, 4 years. And I think I went through a new level of healing in the last year. And I think that level of healing really was a lot of letting go, but then also trying to go, you know what, there was a lot of bad in that situation, but you know what, there was a lot of good in that situation. And I refuse to let the bad overtake and rule the good. And so I know this is kind of weird. This isn't really a creative episode as much as it is more of just an encouraging type thing. Last week, I was on the CA podcast with Lance. We were talking about transitions, and I kind of opened up a little bit about my last transition that I went through, and actually talked through my process through that. And what's funny is we filmed that a month prior, and it came out this week and this past week. And I traveled and came back, like I said, earlier, and it's just, I don't know, it was kind of a funny release timing. It's something that we had scheduled, and so it just happened to line up with some funny things that happened. And I had 2 really long layovers at airports, and so I had a lot of time to myself to think. And I really just, I don't know, man, like this is just one of those seasons for me. And I think even just really just past week where it's just been, I'm just happy where I came from. Where I came from is all kinds of places. I'm not talking about one place. I'm talking about all the places I've been. I've come from there, and I came out of there, and I had some bad experiences, and I had some incredible experiences, and I think I just, for me, I think my mindset as a production person, creative person, whatever you want to call me, I always push to the next, and so I always look at what's next. What are we doing next? Like, I'm not caring about what we just did. I'm on to the next, because what we just did, that's for someone else. We did that for, this, and those people can celebrate it. I need to move on. I need to do something different. I need to keep going, keep pushing. There's more job to be done. And I think that now I'm liking slowing down if I can, and just being happy about where I'm at, and happy about, where I've been, and I know I keep saying that, but so it's been an episode. This is the 10th episode. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for sharing, commenting, whatever you do. I appreciate you so much, and I'm thankful for you, the listener, a lot. And see you next week.